Oh, if you have other people who should talk.
No.
Yeah. The cartoon.
Really?
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Do you still hold it like this though? Oh, hold on.
Yes, you can.
We do have like 4 people on it sometimes.
Yeah.
No, so I could figure you out if you want.
You can figure it out.
I mean, otherwise, I'll get you a minute.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture again. You sure? I want to do it.
Still early, still a few minutes. Trying to make up for all the times I was late.
You don't know about it.
Well, if you want to trade out imminently, because next week.
Huh? People need to prepare.
Yeah, but you're sure? It's like, still have me.
Wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course I do. Thank you, okay.
Yes, sir. I don't want to ask about it.
I can't do that.
I don't know what it is. No, I just hold stuff.
I think it's not.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, I would imagine he has a. Yeah.
I think. I could, but if you do you want me to move around that? I could, if you want, I could ask you. I'll pry in a.
That's why I'm giving it over to you.
Yeah, I got
I
it.
didn't want to ask.
I got it.
I'm giving it over to you.
I could do it in a more.
I know you can. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay. Got you.
So if there's.
But I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. Got you. I'll. It could be tied to that.
What?
It could be tied to that. So,
Tied to.
yeah.
Right.
It could be.
And that brings up another issue, since you're on the board of all these people.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, I'm pushing.
Is this water from my submissions?
We're gonna work on that.
For you, I just water.
That's right.
The guy spending a day.
My submission is also good.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting me in trouble. I got my finger on that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I mean, some big issues happen like, that lend itself to not need. We could run this thing so lean, which is incredible, but it doesn't take away from that point.
It doesn't take away. He's still entitled.
Of course.
And he needs that imagine. Everybody does. What do I mean?
Yeah, I'm on it.
I mean, I was going to ask Rabbi to just tell him
Don't
it's not an option. Like, huh?
Yeah.
But it doesn't even.
Thanks, Jay. Hold on. Shuffle the papers in a second.
Okay, so you can press. It's not a button.
What?
It's not a button. It's not a button to press.
Frozen?
No, it's in there.
I don't know what we're going to do today. I haven't decided yet.
Don't you press the
Maybe
button?
that.
One page?
Yeah.
You want to press the red button?
No, the red. No, press.
It
It's
doesn't-
already
it's
live.
We're doing starting the safer,
Yeah.
but
It's just,
pass that on my
Yeah.
you have to start it like 4 minutes before.
What?
No, this is silly button.
I remember pressing that last one.
What's going on?
Huh.
It's not. It doesn't start. Is that why I have? Yeah.
If you see me tapping a lot, it's.
Is that why a lot of the Shiurim start like 6 minutes in?
Yeah. If somebody starts it and the thing, if it says past due, you have to.
What's past due? What does that mean? Past due.
I don't know.
Stop it and start it again.
No.
All right. Okay.
You record it? Do you record it?
I'm recording. Yeah.
Okay. At least it's recorded.
Okay. Okay, so Baruch Hashem, on page 233, we are in the last 7th response. This is the end of the parak. Take a look. Huh? Let's see if we get there.
Oh.
Yeah. But before that, all these parshas are so connected. The Avos, the entire Indian, I think the entire Indian of the Avos, before we get to Moshe Rabbeinu and the Torah, the Indian of the Avos is the Sefer Chavos Avos. I mean, this is what the Avos were working on. All the gates. Shaar Yichud, Shaar Bechina, Shaar Habitachon, Shaar Habitachon. And I truly, truly believe, just through learning the Sefer, at least the first half until Shaar Habitachon, then things move on. But for the first half of the Sefer, I think the Baal Chavos Levavos, who himself was on a journey, seeking, thinking, Rabbi Mechaya, he really came out, I think, again, my own opinion, the same way that Avram Avinu came into Yiddishkeit. Right? Avram Avinu was, at some point, from the little that we know, we weren't there, but at some point it seems to be that he believed in a higher power, something. He didn't know what it was yet. But he knew there had to be something outside of this world. And that started his journey when he started to look. Right? So therefore, in a certain way, Shaar Yichud, meaning he believed in a higher power. Okay, it wasn't Hashem himself yet, but it was something. Only later did he realize it was always, HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he believed in. Then he started to go into creation. Because what else are you going to do? There was the Avram Avinu was, it's already 2,000 years into the world, but what you see, the trees, the moon, the stars, everything, that's what he had. That's what he had to work with, and some idols. And he started to search and to start one by one, really thinking, really going through, analyzing what could be that power that's running the world. And we know, the Medrash tells us, that he went to the sun, the moon, the stars, he went to the trees, he went to see, could it be this, could it be that? He said, no, it can't be, because at the end of the day, everything is limited. Everything is run by something else, everything has a partner. And he kept going, and he was really searching. I don't know if we know how long it was, this search. I'm sure it wasn't a week, I'm sure it wasn't a month. I'm sure he really spent a lot of time analyzing the world as much as he could, to the point where he exhausted every possible option in the known world, known to man. He went through it all, and nothing made the cut. And that's when he came to the belief that there must be a God, a higher power, which he started with, but you can't see, you can't touch, you can't feel, you can't add nothing. It's impossible. And when he came to that place, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu peeked out in a way of Nevuah and said, Ani Baladir. You finally got it. It's only when he went on that search and he, again, exhausted all of his other options, when he negated everything else. I was speaking about this a little bit by the Sunday night, by the concert. That was the way that how did Avram Avinu become the first Jew? There's no Torah. There's no Geras. There's no Rus. There's no, right? We learned from Rus how to become a Ger. A Gioris. But Avram Avinu didn't have that. How did he become the first Jew? So we explained by negating everything else, at that point, all of creation had to be negated to the point where he only had one option, which is an infinite, illogical option. Welcome to Emunah. And he became the first Jew in that way. Right? There's no mikveh he dunked in. And Sarah Mena, similar way with her husband. So Shaar Yichud, Shaar Bechina, this is all Avram Avinu. Shaar Bechina, he saw the kindness in the world. He said, who's the one providing the kindness? Who's the one who created the trees in the way that we get air from it, and the way the sun moves, and the way that it has heat, but it doesn't burn us, but it's perfect, and it goes away. So we can go to sleep, because if the sun was out there all night, it'd be hard to sleep. Okay. Yeah, and he came to Kodesh. That's Shaar Bechina. And when you have a person, we discussed this, when you have a person, it was Avram Avinu, who is literally living now he sees all of creation, he analyzed it, he went through it all day long, so he's not spending his time, narishkeit. He's really analyzing what was a beautiful world and what there was in it, and all the kindness and every single moment of his body, even though I don't know what he knew, right? We know that Chazal tells us that he got an eitzah from his kloyos, he got an eitzah from his kidneys. It means many things, but he had a certain understanding of the body, because he analyzed it, He sat there every single day and he started drinking. Where did he start to feel? Where is it going? He started to have connections. And so the more he understood about the world, and now he's connecting to a Kodesh Baruch Hu, who's the one who created every single thing, and is constantly creating every single thing. So every single kindness that he was working on, he recognized. Now he has a source for that. So that becomes an amazing combination of Hashem's kindness every single second that he was breathing in, seeing, feeling, appreciating, feeling grateful, right? He was living a life of ecstasy. He was the happiest person in the entire world. Because every single second was a kindness from a Kodesh Baruch Hu, to him personally, to the world at large with him personally. And because of that, he became obsessed with what? Spreading God's name. Serving Hashem in any way possible, which Chazal tells us he was doing the 613 mitzvahs in his own way, mistama, meaning because he was serving a Kodesh Baruch Hu at a better madrega than we were, because of his Shaar Yichon and Shaar Bechina, his connection to the appreciation of every single kindness, every ounce of kindness in this world. And therefore, by reciprocation, made up that word, right? By reciprocation, he wanted to now serve the one who he felt was serving him. Kilo Kodesh Baruch Hu is serving us. Everything is tailor-made for us, not for him, it's for us. So Avram said, I have to serve him. How do you serve him? By doing his ratzon, by getting people to know him, to believe in him. Because that's the greatest way to serve a Kodesh Baruch Hu is hakara. Right? To do, but not to recognize the king, it's somewhat silly. It's true. The king might give you reward for it, but if you're missing the point. You're doing all these things that some king in some palace says to do. There's a whole rule book, and you do all the rules, but you never really know who the king is. You just do it because everybody else is doing it. Good. Could be better. So Avram Avinu wanted everybody to recognize him. That became Shaar Avodas Elokim. And then he came to that place. Now when you have this combination of the Emunah, the one whose ultimate kindness is every single moment, and now he wants to be the ultimate servant of the ultimate server, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So at that point, he became increasingly powerful, strong in this journey of his to serve Hashem, to do what he needs to do in this world, without any fear of anything stopping him, because he now has this very strong connection to the one above, who's been kind to him before, who he jumped into the fire, and now Kodesh Baruch Hu says, oh, now you're ready. Lech Lecha. And as we've always said, how old was Avram Avinu when he was told Lech Lecha? 75, Parnes HaShana. Because when he got to that madrega, again, a remez, the 75 is the bitachon. When he got to that madrega, Hashem could finally say, oh, now you're ready. At least for the known 10 tests. Right? There's some things that happen in between, like throwing into the fire as a medrash between Parshas Noach and Lech Lecha. But from what we see, the 10 tests, the whole life of Avram Avinu starts Lech Lecha because he finally got to that madrega called bitachon. Right? Now we could say, we'll just add what David told me yesterday, a cute little addition, that if you take Avram, right, 243, plus bitachon, which is 75, you get 318, which is Gematria Eliezer. So when he got to that madrega, HaKadosh Baruch Hu also sent him the messengers that will help him. Right? When you're living a life of bitachon, and you become a messenger of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world, like we discussed way back when, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send you all the messengers that are needed to help you help the world. To bring your message to the world, you need other people. Whether it's your family, whether it's a Rabbi, whatever it may be. Whether it's an Eliezer, which his name is, my God, Eliezer. It'll be a help from God. So Hashem sent Avram, help from him, from God, to help him continue working and journeying through the world and spreading what he was spreading. So this, what? The Basayan, yeah. You're talking from the Basayan. The Basayan maybe got it from you. Yeah. So now Avram Avinu can go into the world and he can live a life. He could travel all the way to Eretz Yisrael, however long that took, from Haran to Eretz Canaan. And then the second he gets there, we know there's a famine. And then he has to go down to Mitzrayim. And then his wife's taken. At that point, Kodesh Baruch Hu, listen, I'm already believing in you. I've separated from everybody in the world. I'm spreading your name. I'm ready to do anything for you. But, come on. I travel to this place. Now there's a famine. I have to go down to Egypt, so I can't even stay there. And then my wife gets taken, and then I have problems with load, and then I don't have a kid. And Kodesh Baruch, come on. Does Avram Avinu ever say such a thing? No. And the crowning need of Avram and the Avos, but Avram Avinu himself, is that Chazal tells, and I've discussed this in the past, he was never maharher achrav. He never thought ill. He never thought twice what a Kodesh Baruch Hu sent him to do. Kodesh Baruch Hu knows everything that we're thinking. So if Avram Avinu would have thought even for a second off, even though there was one time where Chazal talk about one thing he did, but the amount of tests that he had to go through that he didn't think that way, that shows his bitachon. Because what's bitachon? Trusting every single moment, and wherever Kodesh Baruch Hu sends you, he sends you to one place, and then you have to leave that place and go to another place, and then something happens over there. But to keep that state of tranquility, equanimity, calm, even to a level of simcha, that is a Baal Bitachon. A Baal Bitachon extraordinaire. That's what Avram Avinu was. Shaar Yichud, Shaar Bechina, Shaar V'Dosakim, Shaar Bitachon. It's all Avram Avinu. That's my understanding. And the Avos in general. So it's a chizuk that what, this program of the Chovos of Avos, okay, we're only in Shaar Habitachon right now. It's really, I said it at the beginning, but I believe it's getting us back to the madrega of the Avos. A little bit, we forgot that madrega when we received the Torah and the mitzvahs, which I call the Shav of Moshe Rabbeinu. We forgot a little bit about the Emunah and the Bitachon, a little bit, because we got caught up in the limud and the learning and the mitzvahs maisius. You know what I mean? So that's why who came to fuse it? We spoke about this a long time ago. It could be 2 years ago. Who came to fuse the madrega of the Avos with Moshe Rabbeinu? I mean, a little bit. David HaMelech. David HaMelech was the one who fused Torah and Emunah Bitachon, all that together. That's all found in Tehillim. Tehillim is all of his tefillah, it's all Emunah Bitachon, yet we learn Tehillim like it's a sefer, right? Because it was Torah. Everything about David HaMelech was that combination, which is the Seir Malchus, which is the end of the combination. Okay, so let's go to page 233. Let's finish this chapter, Perek Shishi today. So page 233, we're in the seventh response to that person who is taking upon his responsibilities and in the Parnasa field a little bit too strongly. He's unwilling to give up time and effort and focus to work more in the Avodas Hashem area. אבל המשכין הבורי יסבורך בהקדומס הטובס אליו אין לו יכולת לשלם העבוד עליהם ולא מובטח לפרוע מה שיש לו מן החובס הישנוס כל שכן החדשוס שאדם הצדיק איננו פורע חובס הטובס אלוקים עליו אלו בעזר האלוקים לו. The seventh response is such a person who takes a security pledge. I'm only going to serve you, Kodesh Baruch Hu, when you first give me the pledge. Give me the money, and then I'll serve you. The response to this person, why it's silly to live in such a way, a person who takes a security pledge from his friend only takes the pledge if he's able to supply his friend with merchandise that corresponds to the value of the security pledge. I think it means to take a mashkan that's 10 times the value of what he's going to lend. That's pretty silly. However, a person who takes a security pledge from the Creator, from a Kodesh Baruch Hu, may he be blessed, by requesting God's kindness in advance of fulfilling his obligations toward him. Right? We're asking Kodesh Baruch Hu to give me the money, give me the pledge, give me the security, and then I'll serve you. It's silly. Why? Because this person does not have the capability to repay with the service of God. Even when you do serve a Kodesh Baruch Hu, Kodesh Baruch Hu gives you what you feel is necessary, which we already proved. This person will never find the amount of money necessary because this person is not a person who's really waiting for a number. He just always wants to feel security, a constant security, which you will never feel from money, ultimately, only from bitachon. So this person already is out to lunch. But another way to explain that to him is that how could you ever repay? A Kodesh Baruch Hu give you a security pledge, your life, money. He's going to everything that you get for the next 60 days. Let's say that's the amount of time that you're giving Kodesh Baruch Hu to give the security pledge. The amount that he's giving you, you can never repay that for all the work that you're going to do. The security pledge is more than the loan that you're going to give him. It doesn't make any sense. Because he is not even assured that he'll be able to repay his old debts. Me, the servant of a Kodesh Baruch Hu, who says I could pay back even the old things I owe him. Because he's given me life for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and all the good things. How much I owe him, and now I'm going to ask for a security pledge that I can't even pay back the old, and all the more so that he can't be sure that he'll be able to pay back the new debts. It's all silly things. So it's even to have, we're trying to point out to this person, to even demand a pledge in advance is so silly. You ask your best friend who's lent you lots of money over time. Your best friend who's been with you through the thick and thin. The guy, he's done so many favors to you in the past without no. And then one time you asked to borrow money, that he asked to borrow money from you. You say, listen, can you give me your watch? I just want to make sure that you pay me back. Chutzpah. He's helped you so many times. He's helped you with money. He's helped you with other favors. You guys are good buddies. You trust him. Okay, there are certain halachic inyanim about with loans and things, to have Adam watch the loan, but that's not what we're talking about. To take a collateral from such a person, it shows that you have no trust in this person. It shows there's no relationship here. That's the problem. For even a righteous man would not be able to repay God for the good that he has bestowed upon him, were it not for God's helping him. So he adds another little line over here. Something that we've discussed, but something that we have to really sit and think. This is part of Emunah 101-ish. All of the good that we do, all the Torah and the mitzvahs, every last one of them, every good act that we do, every act of Mesiras Nefesh that nobody knows about. We do the biggest chesed that nobody knows. Who gave you the ability to do that? Kodesh Baruch Hu. Who gave you the wherewithal to be able to have the Mesiras Nefesh, to have that strength, to be in the position that you're in, to be able to do such thing that you... If you think it's you, then close the sefer. You're not even shaykh to this. Of course, the Kodesh Baruch Hu is the one who's been helping you the whole time, and now you're going to feel that you need to demand from him an advance pledge to that so you could serve him. Anyway, it's all coming from him. Again, we're not telling a person lamaisa stop working and go learn all day. That's not what we're saying. We're talking about the heart of the matter. Where's your head? Where's your heart? And if a person is, the Shaar Habitachon does not talk about this, but since we're humans, let's be human. If a person is having a difficulty with what's going on in this part of the sefer, and he feels this heavy responsibility to the work, and he doesn't feel that he can break away, and he's nervous that maybe he's having one of these issues, so talk it out with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. So speak it out with him. Just let it out. Go into a quiet place and tell him. I want to believe in you. I want to serve in you, but it's hard. I have these obligations. I'm not really sure what to do. I want to trust you. I'm not sure if I do. Maybe I don't really trust you. Maybe I think money is more powerful than you. Maybe speak it out. What are you scared of? Guarantee he's not going to send a lightning bolt. Guaranteed. Rabbi, you might just feel a hug afterwards. You feel very good about it instead of hiding on the inside and letting it stay in. And if you can't do that, then we have to work on another area of Emunah, the area of Tefillah. Something else that I was speaking about, the big difference between Noach and Avram. I told you, was it last week I told you? I asked Rabbi about that. What's the difference between Noach and Avram? Right? By Noach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu came to him. But Avram went to seek HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Huge difference. But a major byproduct, we'll call it, of that Yesod comes out in the area of Tefillah. Noach never davens. We don't see it in the parsha, he never davens. And Chazal, we would never say this, but the Zohar says it was bad that he didn't daven. And he didn't say he could have saved the world, but there's a taina on Noah that he didn't daven. I don't know what would have happened. But when you have a Kodesh Baruch Hu always coming to you and you're always just a makabel, that's gavaldik. You're makabel omal l'shamayim. It's beautiful. But that's only half of Yiddishkeit. It's only half of Emunah. But then you have to turn to him also. It could be even in Bakashas. It could be in Shvach and Hodah. Right? Avram Avinu, he's constantly having conversation with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. We know he praises him in Shvach and Hodah and also Bakashas. And he davens for Sodom, different than Noach davening for, which he didn't daven for the people. So when a person has a two-way working Emunah, where he's makabel everything from the Kodesh Baruch Hu, but again, Shar Vodos Elokim is where a person then turns back towards the Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's where Tefillah starts to pick up. Because if you really believe everything's coming from him, so at least praise him, thank him, something. That becomes when we receive from a Kodesh Baruch Hu, and then we, in a simple thank you, a simple wow, just wow, because that's coming from appreciation, you've just turned back towards the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And then you could add a lot of tefillahs, and then you could build a relationship, and then, if you make a mistake, you could talk to him, and that's part of tshuva, right? But if you're only in that state of Kabbalah, Yiras Hashem, beautiful, great, but then you're going to miss out on all the opportunities of tefillah, of tshuva, of shvach, of true appreciation of what's going on in the world, right? And you might miss out on the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has been helping you the whole time. Even when we daven to him, who's the one who's helping us get the words out? We have to make it more of a God-filled system, God consciousness. Where is HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Wherever you let him in. Right? The famous Kotzker line. Where is he? Wherever you let him in. So the more you let him in, the more he's there. The less you let him in, the less he's there. It's just simple as that. Adam let him in a little bit, Noach a little bit more, and Avram Vino Mamish, floodgates open. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Shvatim. Then we had some problems. So he gave us the Torah. But okay, we're working on it again. So to demand a pledge from HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we owe him, and even when we do pay him back for what he's given us through the Torah and mitzvahs, anyway, he's holding your hand the whole time. The whole thing is silly. If we can understand, just we have to drop this, put more of our effort into what we're doing. What I'm not even saying right now, the mice are putting more kamas, more time into davening, learning mitzvahs. But whatever we're doing already, we should be able to focus a little bit more. We should start fighting against all the hirurim that are coming in about work and nerves. We should, before we go to daven, before we go to learn, we should, for a minute, just take the sefer, just like, put your hand over the sefer, remember everything that we've been working on. Now go daven, a little bit more calm. Doesn't be perfect. No one's perfect. A little bit calmer today than was yesterday. That's all tachlis. That's bitachon. It's moment, right? Every ounce of calm that you are, ounce, inch, second, pick whatever measurement tool you want, of calm you are, because you have a connection to Kodesh Baruch Hu, that's called bitachon. Yes? Calm because you're a calm person doesn't mean bitachon. Calm because you believe in a Kodesh Baruch Hu and all the belief that you have, that equals bitachon. Any ounce, any inch, every little bit, it's bitachon. The bigger about bitachon you are, Gabal. But even a little bit. So we shouldn't throw away what we can have because, I'm not 100% calm. Every little bit matters. 233 on the bottom. An average person may not be able to repay God for his kindness. Furthermore, even a righteous person needs help from God to serve him. Moshe Rabbeinu, V'eschana, we know the famous Rashi over there. The tzaddikim, even though they have what to ask from, they have a lot of Torah mitzvahs, they don't, because they know the emes is, it's just a matnas chinam. Everything from Moshe Rabbeinu is a matnas chinam. Because all the Torah and mitzvahs that even Moshe Rabbeinu had, he knew, ultimately meant zero. Not in a depressing way, in a powerful way. Because that means the achrayus is not on him. He has to just keep doing, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will do what he decides, and it's okay. So the tzaddikim understand this even more. That they all their Torah mitzvahs, which is much more than us, and still they ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for a matnas chinam, for a handout. Not because they're cheap, like I want to save my schar and no, because they believe that everything they've done is only because HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed them, so what are we asking for anyway? I'm asking you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for schar because I passed tests and I did mitzvahs that you helped me with anyway? It's like a kid, has his mother write the essay for him. Literally the mother writes the entire essay and the kid just sits there. I'm like, he's just sitting there. And then he gets back an A. The mother, Baruch Hashem, she actually took classes seriously. She gets back an A, it was also third grade. So he gets back the A and the mother's like, praising the kid. And, oh wow, look at the job you did. She's trying to mechazik the end. He's like, yeah, I did such a great job. Now he's a third grader. But if we're 35 and we're acting like a third grader, then we're taking the praise for things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one anyway. Again, we have to be careful. We have to feel accomplished in this world. There is a balance. We did our shtadlus, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to feel accomplished. But we have to be very careful. Like for that kid, it was an accomplishment for him to sit there. That wasn't bullshit. It's very hard for him to sit there. So that itself is accomplishment. He should feel good about that kid. But be careful. The A, the A for that you got was because you sat there for an hour, and that by you that was called an A. But he shouldn't get all high and mighty that he knows how to write an essay. We understand. So we have to be normal. We have to be careful. Yeah, I put my efforts in, but a Kodesh Baruch Hu made it happen. But I put my efforts in, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants me to be happy with that. We understand. This is part of the balance of all Chavos Levavos, Tishtadlus and Bitachon. Everything has to be a balance between the both. And then when there is an effect, when something happens, when now we react to that, we also have to react in a way of what part was mine, quote unquote mine, and what part was a Kodesh Baruch Hu's. Everything has to flow through this Tishtadlus and Bitachon, both outward and inward. And then you live a life of a proper balance. Healthy accomplishments, healthy confidence, but not gaiva. Right? Every parent wants their kid to feel confident, but don't be all right. Don't be about gaiva when you didn't write the essay, but feel accomplishment in what you did. And let's grow that way. Not dimyonos, real, solid, down-to-earth, grounded accomplishment, understanding the balance between what you did and what you were helped with. And that's okay that you were helped in life. Who's not helped in life? If you can't admit hoda, if you can't admit that people have helped you in life and that it's a combination, then again you're out to lunch. You're living in a world of dimyon. It's not possible. And if you can't admit Kodesh Baruch Hu helped you can't admit that people have helped you, so then you're just a loner. You're just a silly person who's on his own. It looks like people are friends with you, but you're on your own. Make sense? By me, this all comes from the bitachon, from the way the Chavos Levavos has been teaching. This combination, everything can be understood and lived properly, healthy, in a real way. Through this two-part process. So 233 on the bottom, let's finish up. This being the case, 234, it makes no sense for a person to request the kindness of God in advance, because it's unlikely that he'll be capable of repaying it. At least, definitely not on his own. Kamosha Amr Echad min HaChasidim b'tishbechosav v'afam maskil hayodeoscha lo v'maaseu yishalu ki b'shimcha v'rechamecha shehachinosa es levav l'dasoscha ki b'cha yitzdeku v'yishalu kol zeri Yisrael lemor ve'elokim hilalnu kol hayom v'shimcha l'ol nodasela. Welcome to Tehillim. As one of the pious men said in his praises of God, which probably was talking about himself. You know that's how it is. Like Rabbi Nachman says, some tzaddik said, it was Rabbi Nachman said it himself. Even the intellectual who knows you does not glory in his actions. The man in his own personal actions. He doesn't take glory in it. Rather, he praises your name and your mercy because you prepared his heart so that he's able to know you, for through you, God, and your help, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all the children of Klal Yisrael will be found to be righteous and praised. As David HaMelech said, we have gloried in you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all day long, and we will forever praise your name. In that way, a person doesn't need to take the praise of other people. We're living in a time that many people, everybody's different, and each person on their own, is only confident because he receives from the outside. Only when people see that he's davening, he's learning, only when people see that he makes money, only, and what he's wearing or she's wearing, whatever it may be, when it looks good in other people's eyes, so then they feel good because other people are praising them, whether they say it or that's how they feel. That's not a great mahalach to live life. Always being dependent, totally bedover, is never good. We want people who are einu totally bedover. Einu totally bedover. But nobody can actually be einu totally bedover, not dependent on anything. It's not possible either. So who's the greatest one to always depend on? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you have a true relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and you realize that everything is coming from Him, with your milas and your chesronos, and with your good points and your flaws, and every flaw is there to help us and for us to fill up and to grow, so then there's nothing can stop you. You could be confident in that, and you don't need others to build up your confidence. Again, we're humans; we might still need that, but at a certain point, like David HaMelech, he didn't need other people. It was between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's a Baal Bitachon is trying to get to that measure. Ad Kan, the 6th parak. So, I wasn't sure. I started, if there's a few things to do. We'll talk now because we're not going to start the next parak. The next parak is the last parak. It's still going to take us some time. But I was toying around with different things. Remember, there's a Sefer Bitachon L'Maisa, which I've quoted a few times, where he has, on these sheets that I gave you, he has a program, a L'Maisa program of Bitachon, very connected to what we're doing. He adds a few things here and there, but very, very connected to the way the Chavos Avos, I think, is teaching Bitachon, and how to process through Lamaisa, thinking and speaking with Emunah and Bitachon and Tefillah, situations of life. So we might do that now, and that something. I was also thinking, I'm just speaking it out, I was also trying to create going through Shaar Yichud, Shaar Bechina, Shaar Avodas Elokim, Shaar Bitachon, without going through the Sefer, which we might do, but a daily Bitachon practice, and then a Bitachon practice for difficult times. I'm trying different ways, I'm thinking of different things, how to help those who want to steig, those who have learned the Sefer. You can't take this piece of paper, not having learned the Sefer and being involved in hours and hours of shiurim and thinking, and just take it and it's going to work. It's not really. But for somebody who's really steiging and wants to continue in a lamaisa way, take something to work, you can't take the whole Sefer, you're not really sure. But I'm trying different ways. I started also writing something else. I mean, with AI, you could type really fast and they could edit for you, so you don't have to pay attention to your spelling. It's really amazing. Just one flow, just as fast as you can. It gives you the ability to put out a lot more. So I was also thinking about Avram Avinu just constantly, and I started writing up Avram Avinu's letter. I'm not trying to say it, to Perek Shishi, the guy in Perek Shishi. And for example, I'll read you a little bit. It's going to take a lot of time, but I wonder what people think is kedai, and then maybe I'll be able to work more. So I'll read this to you, maybe a few minutes. Again, this is just the first rough draft. So this is Akdama. My brother, I have seen many people who wish to serve Hashem. This is Avram Avinu speaking. Yet hold themselves back because they believe they are already fulfilling His will through the responsibilities of life, to work, to provide, to sustain their family. They say, Hashem gave me this family, these duties, this burden. Surely my service of Him is to be serious and responsible about it. Again, the guy in Perek Shishi, the 6th parak. Indeed, responsibility is holy. To provide for one's family is a mitzvah and a form of avodas Hashem. But what if, in the name of this responsibility, you forget the one, capital one, who gave it to you? What if you work as though Hashem's help ends where your effort begins? It's a strong line. Usually emunah, the way we say emunah is, right, wherever your thinking ends, that's where Kodesh Baruch Hu, that's where he starts. That's where emunah starts. Wow. So here it's the opposite. What if you work as though Hashem's help ends where your effort begins? You think, Kodesh Baruch Hu, you did that, now it's on me to continue. Right? It's a total kfira, it's a separation. I, Avram, once left behind everything, my birthplace, my father's home, my comfort, because I trusted that the same Hashem who commanded me to go would also care for me on the way. The world thought I was reckless. Echad Avram. They thought he was Meshuggah, for those who were at the concert. They thought it was Meshuggah. I knew I was being led. For when a person truly trusts in Hashem, he finds that serving Hashem and serving his family are not two separate callings, they become one. So there's the first flaw. So there's a little bit of a chazara. Remember the first flaw. Hidden desires. My friend, you say you work tirelessly because Hashem gave you a family to support. But tell me honestly, is it only for them? Or perhaps deep inside there are other desires mixed in. Comfort, status, control, security on your own terms. You think you're being selfless, but maybe you fear that if you, remember this, let's go back, this is a few weeks ago. You think you're being selfless, but maybe you fear that if you truly let Hashem decide what is enough, you might have less than what you want. Remember this fear? That was this is the way we explain the Chavos Avos. The reason why this person is taking upon himself extra responsibility in the name of his responsibility for his family was because really he had taivas. The taivas that darkened his eyes. Remember? We'll go back. I'll show you. So the way we explained it was that really this person doesn't want to believe that what a Kodesh Baruch Hu wants for him, it's not enough what he wants. Kodesh Baruch Hu wants you to have the Honda Civic. I know, but I think a Tesla's more my style, Kodesh Baruch Hu. So therefore he's trying to outwork a Kodesh Baruch Hu. Remember, this was the first flaw that he makes. So you call it responsibility, but it may really be a fear that Hashem's measure of good for you will not match your own. Isn't that a contradiction of faith? If he is infinitely kind and wise, can he not know better what will bring you blessing and peace? My dear one, you cannot outsmart Hashem's goodness. You cannot work your way into a better life than what He, in His ultimate wisdom, wants for you. Sometimes the more that you seek is the very thing that distances you from what is truly good closest to Him. Work, yes, but with bitachon. Strive, but remember who provides the strength. The same Hashem who gives you a family to care for gives you the power, the time, and the blessing to care for them if you let Him in. So this is just the beginning of something that I was writing based on the first flaw. I wonder if that would be a help. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying different things. Then we have the, we still have time? What time is it officially? 51.
That's a very deep the thought of where the talking ends and the work begins, or work begins, the talking ends. You would have to be very careful to how old, what age person you teach that.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's a very hard. It takes a certain amount of experience, I think, to understand that statement by looking back.
Remember what I said, and it's true. It's this sefer is, you got to start with the textbook. But after the textbook, we still need help. So this is really for a person who's already graduated from the sefer, and this is another way of bringing it down. That's my like at the end of the sefer, we're going to add these because it's for deeper, review. I'll give you something else, maybe. Something else. And if people want, I'm happy to continue working. I'm trying in different ways. Again, for people who are in the sugya. Anybody can read this and say, wow, this is nice. Oh, I like this. But it's not going to work really unless either you sit with it every single day or you're a person who's already worked on it and this is a review. So let's go, I don't know, pick one. You want to go let's go when life feels steady.
When did you give that out?
I didn't.
You didn't.
Oh.
I was working on it this morning. So let's say bitachon is not, we've discussed, it's not an SOS emergency midah like people think. It is not. It is every step of your life. You're supposed to have a emunah bitachon before you wake up in the morning. And if you wake up in the morning, you didn't have emunah bitachon, start right then. Modani. So again, through the 4 gates, which we might learn in depth coming soon. Yichud Hashem, right? The first gate, awareness of Hashem's oneness. Like bolts, bullet points, where it's a combination. What I'm trying to do is a combination between intellectual understanding, but then you connecting. For example, Hashem created the world and sustains it every moment. Emunah. There's no power besides Him. Everything is from His will. Hashem knows the past, present, and future. Nothing happens by chance. Now returning to the I'm exactly where I am meant to be because Hashem placed me here. Emunah 101 Shaar Yichud. Now we go to Shaar Bechina. Recognizing Hashem's kindness. I see Hashem's kindness in everything. In my body, in nature, in the people around me, in every breath I take. And you have to think. You can't just say this. It's not gonna work. You actually have to think about it. Like Avram Avinu. He went through everything. Every detail of my life is an expression of His love and care. Hashem has carried me until now and continues to provide for me in ways I often don't even notice. I want to notice His chesed today and live with gratitude. So it's a quick combination of the understanding of what the Shaar Bechina is and then entering into it. Avodas Elokim, choosing to give back. Because Hashem gives me so much, I want to live for Him. My actions, words, and thoughts can give Him nachas. He allows it to be like that. Whatever I do today, work, learning, family, is an opportunity to serve Hashem. I want to use the gifts He gives me to bring more light into the world. And then bitachon, trusting in Hashem, everything that happens today is from Hashem's perfect wisdom and kindness. My effort is important, but the result is entirely in His hands. Hashem runs my life better than I ever could. I trust that whatever He sends me is for my good, even if I don't understand it. I release control and choose peace, knowing Hashem is guiding every step. Again, like I don't know what you'd call this. You could read this at the beginning of the day. I don't know, I'm just trying. And then there's one that's a little bit for when you have a struggle and you're feeling a little overwhelmed. Anybody have any comments? I'm throwing this out to the peanut gallery. Where they go?
Peanut galleries for monkeys.
We're all trying not to be monkeys. Different ways besides the learning, but to keep it going. We're towards the end. It's been a long time, but only when you're done with the learning does the avod the lamais start again. So I'm just trying different ways. If anybody has any thoughts, okay, no one's gonna say anything now. I get it. You can contact me. You can talk to me. But I'm just trying different ways to. We can continue and also think about other people. Think about other people maybe who are not learning to say forget it. Maybe you are what things have helped you, what things can we put together to help. Because bitachon, if you're still here after a year and a half, you're seeing the benefits of it. I mean, I'm not that great of a speaker that you're just coming to Yirmi. And I'm not joking. But bitachon works. For those who are working with it, it really works. And if it's working for us, part of our avodas Hashem, and Shaar Habitachon, if we appreciate what it's done for us, that we want to share it with others. We want to share Kodesh Baruch Hu, like Avram Avinu. That's what we want to do. So, anybody has any comments, please help. Listen,
Well, you're going into the topic of Ishtalus.
All right, this is the Shabbos. So we're doing a Shabbos.
It's a big open field. Where does it begin? Like we just said, the lunar.
With your first step. That's where it begins, with your first step. And your first
All
step.
right, so now when do we get off that train? Let's go.
Which which Shabbos are you referring to? This?
The whole thing. Your whole,
Life?
Yeah, your whole.
Every second is you take 2 steps. Every step you take is always 2 steps in one. Shtadlus and bitachon. You can't even take a physical step without a shtadlus, and you couldn't even take a physical step without bitachon. Hamechin mitzadi gover. Every second, every thought, every emotion, every dibur, every action, every event, everything that you're doing, has to be split into 2. Shtadlus and bitachon. The more you live with that, the more you live with bitachon, the happier your life will be, the calmer your life will be. So we'll continue next week.
We had back, and let's say for a long time ago, the bitachon in the Ishtadlus. You're saying like, every step of the way.
We did that already in Shabbatach. We did it when he was talking about Shtadlus.
I think you walked through a bunch of examples.
Well, maybe it's this. I will have to come back to this. I'm trying to see what we should use to continue. You talking about this?
Yeah, I think I might even have.
Yeah, we did a few different. I want to give people a program of what to do.
Could you send that out?
Which one?
Both of them.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm